Hey guys, I'm Geetsly, and today I'm going to be filling in for EckhartsLadder. I will admit, this format isn't my strong point and it's more Eckhart's forte. However, I'm still going to try and deliver you guys a great video, and today we're going to look at Waxer and Boyle vs Fives and Echo, two of the closest clone friendships throughout the Clone Wars. To be honest, I think this is one of the best rivalries I could have chosen, as Waxer and Boyle were from the 212th, while Fives and Echo were from the 501st, which of course creates instant competition between the two teams. So first up, of course, we have Waxer and Boyle, who as stated before were from the 212th. So with that said, let's have a look at them. Waxer and Boyle both had different personalities but worked together amazingly well. On the one hand we have Waxer, who was shown to be extremely compassionate throughout the Clone Wars, and on the other hand we have Boyle, who was a bit more hardened and stubborn compared to his close friend. Going back to Waxer, and he died in one of the most unfortunate ways possible. When Pong Krell ordered the 501st and 212th to attack each other under the guise that they were Umbarans wearing dead clone armor, Waxer was shortly thereafter killed by an unidentified 501st clone trooper, making it to be one of the saddest death scenes we see throughout the Clone Wars. I say one of, because the saddest was of course that of Fives. So this now seems like a good segue to move on to Fives and Echo, the two ARC troopers of the 501st. Although ARCs, their origins were one of the most humble within the clone army, and they started off in one of the most dysfunctional teams ever seen throughout the training camps, that team of course being the Domino Squad. Now just to add in a little fun fact for you all, the Domino Squad actually alludes to them being like dominoes, all dying one by one, until we're left with Echo, and only Echo. Although Echo was thought to be dead by many after he sacrificed himself for the greater good, it is revealed in the lost seasons of the Clone Wars that he did in fact survive. The only reason we didn't get to see this is because of Rebels. Enough of my rambling however, and we should get back to the 2 vs 2. Anyways, Echo and Fives, they both had ARC Trooper armor as they were promoted sometime in the Clone Wars to ARC Troopers. However, we didn't actually see them do the official training. So in this video, we're not going to count their training and we're going to assume they stick with the standard Clone Trooper training, like Waxer and Boyle had, just to make things fair. Also, because both teams had the same origin and upbringing, Waxer and Boyle being from the 212th, while Fives and Echo being from the 501st, we're not going to analyze them individually like I usually would. And instead of doing each clone separately, we're going to look at both teams as a unit. So now we're going to take an in-depth look at Waxer and Boyle. Like all clones, they were born on Kamino and went through the standard clone training that all troopers of the Republic Army had to go through. Both individual troopers were eventually placed in a division of the 212th called Ghost Company, and made fast friends. Cody immediately recognized their teamwork capabilities and sent them on many missions together, including the Battle of Geonosis and the Battle of Ryloth. As seen throughout both these battles, Waxer and Boyle were able to utilize two different sets of armor, engineered specifically for different environments. These two sets of course being the normal infantry armor and the ARC Trooper armor we see on Geonosis. So aside from their relatively standard clone armor, what was their weaponry like? Well, Boyle was about as vanilla as clone troopers could get, primarily using the DC-15S in combat situations. On the other hand, although Waxer also did utilize this DC-15S in most combat situations, he was also able to decently use a Z6 rotary blaster cannon, also known as chain gun, as well as twin DC-17 blaster pistols, both of which were good at close range. To sum Waxer and Boyle up, their main feature was their ability to work together impeccably. Although individually, not as great as Fives and Echo, when it came to teamwork, there was simply no other clone duos that could outmatch them. So now moving on to our second team, Fives and Echo. As stated before, we're not going to count the ARC Trooper training as it isn't explicitly shown to us throughout the Clone Wars TV show. So for the sake of fairness, we're going to leave it at that, and then going to keep their standard Domino Squad training. On the topic of Domino Squad, although Fives and Echo didn't have the same unexplainable bond that Waxer and Boyle had throughout the Clone Wars, they were still extremely close as they came from the same origins and trained together, through all the adversity and challenges their training gave to them. Soon after their training period however, 3 of the dominoes had already fallen, and after the Battle of Kamino it was only Echo and Fives left. And Echo and Fives of course were promoted to ARC Troopers due to their courage and valor on the battlefield. Although both ARC Troopers, these two clones still had very different personalities, with Fives being extremely intelligent to the point where he nearly foiled Order 66 and ruined Palpatine's plan. As we all know however, thanks to the intervention of Commander Fox, Fives was shot dead in cold blood, and the plan ultimately failed, subsequently leading to the downfall of the Jedi Order mere months later. Feel free to hate on Fox in the comments, I know I will. Now going back to Echo, we know that he was more rigid in his approach to many things, and unlike the rest of the Domino squad, he wasn't really built for the front lines and much preferred strategy. With that said, Echo wasn't stupid, and he knew combat was necessary for his survival and success within the Republic army, and still trained himself up. Echo, due to the reasons previously stated, preferred to use the standard DC-15S, while Fives adopted Rex's style of using twin DC-17 blaster pistols, occasionally switching to a longer range DC-15A when needed. This highlights the fact that Fives would most likely carry Echo in a 2v2, as he was more proficient at both close and long range combat. All these factors combined make Echo and Fives a force to be reckoned with, as Echo's strategical mind combined with Fives' combat prowess and intelligence would make for an extremely tough fight for Waxer and Boyle. So now, after analysing both these teams, we need to come to a consensus. In my opinion, although a tough fight, it goes to Fives and Echo. Now to explain my reasoning. Waxer and Boyle, although an amazing team, wouldn't be able to stand up against the raw individual skills of both Echo and Fives combined. Echo and Fives weren't the greatest team, but their pure skill would have just simply outmatched Waxer and Boyle in a 2v2. Not to mention they also had ARC Trooper armor, which wouldn't be too fun to deal with. I should emphasize though, that I still think this fight would be extremely tough for Fives and Echo, and there are only a couple of factors pushing them over the edge. Nonetheless, I stand by my decision, and as I do with many of my videos of this nature, I want to hear your guys' opinion on this monumental 2 vs 2. Who do you think would win? Also guys, just before I go, I want to thank you all for having me on Eckhart's channel. It's really growing fast and it's got some quality content. Specifically, I want to thank Eckhart himself for making this collaboration silky smooth. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my other videos on my own channel. Admittedly, I don't do many videos of this nature, but I'm going to start rolling out some more soon. I usually do tidbit lore videos, so if you're into that, check me out. Anyways, once again guys, thanks for watching, and thank you Eckhart for this collaboration. This is Geetsly signing out.